I, Dr. Sandeep Kumar, faculty from CIE, University of Delhi, along with National Resource Center for Education, Central University of South Bihar, welcome you in the course Latest Trends in Pedagogy and Assessment. I hope you will enjoy and learn different perspectives during the course. You will agree with me that pedagogy is an essential and critical part of any educational institution, or we can say strength of an institution. All of you have diverse understanding about pedagogy and its concerns. So, here we will explore more critically about pedagogy with reference to inclusive and non-discriminatory classroom settings. But we have to keep in mind, to make a classroom inclusive and non-discriminatory, we have to work and understand inclusion and non-discrimination beyond classroom practices. And therefore, I would like to share my ideas on this concern in two sessions. Session 1 develops a conceptual base about inclusive and non-discriminatory pedagogy based on the attitudes and values a teacher needs to possess, such as considering diversity, believing in collaborative work, language of inclusion, etc. Whereas, second session focuses more on inclusive and non-discriminatory pedagogy to be adapted by the teachers in their practices, which starts with a prime question, that is there any special pedagogy which can be labeled as inclusive? So my friends, let's start with first session. Teacher is one who has great role to play in making education a healthy process and providing equality education to all children. It is also important to understand that along with teachers, society and community have their specific role to play to make education accessible and available to all children. Therefore, a bridging between home and school is essential. When we talk about inclusive education, quickly we shift our focus on special educators. This prevailed perception about inclusion needs to be questioned. Why I am saying this? Because inclusive education and inclusive pedagogy is the inherent responsibility of all the teachers. We think of special educators while talking about inclusive education and inclusive pedagogy because our idea of inclusion is restricted and limited to children with special needs. Now, need is to understand inclusion in a more comprehensive manner. We know our classrooms are full of diversity, which incorporates caste, class, gender, children with disabilities, language, and so on. All of them need to be addressed adequately in classroom. It is important to mention that being inclusive in different practices is the necessity of the time, and therefore all teachers have to be inclusive and work towards the well-being of every student. I also would like to debunk another prevailed idea that there are certain fixed skills and knowledge inclusive teachers have to have. Here, I would like to say teachers have to have a positive attitude and engagement with ongoing reflective practices. It is because demand of every situation is different. Therefore, in every situation, teacher has to deal differently. Every problem comes with its unique manner and unique composition. Therefore, a fixed skill or knowledge will not be able to help for longer and in every context. So, teacher need to develop certain perspectives and attitudes towards teaching, learning, learner and knowledge. I do understand that children with severe disabilities need special skillful practitioners, but teaching in mainstream, one's thinking matters more than anything else. If a teacher really wants to teach qualitatively, she or he will do anyhow. So, the need is to provide space and opportunities to teachers to become familiar about the issues, challenges and possibilities of inclusion and associated practices. As we have discussed above, there should not be anything called specific skill for teachers that make them work in inclusive setting. Need is to develop a healthy perspective about inclusive practices and values. We can understand it in two ways. First, I am sure there will be variety of children in your classroom and you have to deal with all of them. And second, every year you will get some unique ability children or children with different specific needs. In both the cases, you have to deal with them uniquely, and then only you will be able to provide them adequate space for all of them. What will help you in such a situation? It is your past reflective practices which helps you to deal and handle the situations. You have to make required changes in your pedagogic practices, sometimes in form of alteration and sometimes entirely. Not only this, a person himself or herself also keep evolving, and this evolution also make changes in their thinking, value system, attitude, interest, etc. This ever evolving situation will pose different challenges in front of teachers. Such challenges can only be handled with a progressive understanding about inclusion with positive attitude. Now an important question arises here, and that is, what kind of attitude and values I am referring to? There are many such ideas which represent our inclusive attitudes and values. Some of them are adequate consideration of classroom diversity, believing in collaborative working, holding hand of every student, a sense of organizing thoughts in action, language of inclusion, questioning one's own belief, faith in equality, challenging non-inclusive practices, perspective about continuous professional development. Let us take each of these points and elaborate further. Adequate consideration of classroom diversity. First and foremost, teachers not only need to accept learners' individuality and diversity, moreover, they also have to value this individuality and diversity. It is a challenging task, but a teacher with his or her reflective abilities can do it effectively. To achieve this, teachers have to have a good and sound understanding of inclusive education and inclusive pedagogy. Along with this, teachers have to have healthy view about the diversity available among learners group. Teachers need to understand that inclusive education is based on the idea of equality education, which is for social reforms and non-negotiable. The need is to work not only for accessibility of education, rather we have to address the discriminations and biases within education. For this, teachers have to become familiar about various policies, regulations, etc. related to inclusive education and keep developing various pedagogical practices to provide better space to learner for learning. Along with this, we need to understand that it is absolutely okay to be different. It is teachers' responsibility that this different, or we can say that uniqueness, get adequate space and voice, particularly in classroom settings. Teacher can play a great role to develop a powerful self-esteem in students, which surely will trigger their learning potentials. As has been said earlier, every student learns as per his or her own pace and interest. Teachers' responsibility is to provide them the space which respects their culture, ideas, thoughts and languages. If a teacher understands the ideas of diversity in its diverse sense, she or he will be able to manage a lot many things in classroom as long as pedagogy is concerned. Therefore, it becomes important that teacher need to develop competencies where she and he can understand the importance of learning from differences. This understanding will lead them to develop their own ways of handling diversity in classroom setting for betterment of learners. This attitude will develop them to perceive available curriculum and pedagogy in a more comprehensive manner. Believing in collaborative working. A teacher must have faith in collaborative working so that the ability to work with others in small and large groups can be developed, such as ability of teamwork, making collective efforts, etc. There are students who belong to various cultures, religions, regions, languages, etc. in school. Their collective working will gradually develop a kind of collaborative attitude in them, where they listen others and try to engage in a meaningful dialogue. Development of such attitude will be highest achievement of a teacher. This can become more powerful if we can develop a positive connect between school and home. For this, teacher must learn to make a bridge between school and larger social community, which includes parents, families, other stakeholders of education, etc. This comprehensive collaboration will develop a sense of respecting others and their ideas for promoting collaborative task values. This collaboration with family and community will surely develop a broad and comprehensive learning space in a learner's life. Such spaces will provide opportunities for developing skills like interpersonal relations, interdependency, working together, respecting others, living with others, collectiveness, social communication, etc. This provides space to work with variety of social and personal contexts. Along with this, educational institutions will get chance to work with other educational systems. Such systems collectively and collaboratively develop a progressive and need-based education system for the nation. Within and outside school collaboration collectively generates humongous opportunities for learners. As a result of all these efforts, community schooling can emerge as a very good idea, where school and community becomes united. This unity surely resolves many issues related to inclusive education and pedagogy, holding hand of every student. For parents, school is the most trustable social institution after family. Therefore, school also has responsibility to maintain this faith and trust. Learners will look towards school and teachers for their various needs such as academic, social, personal, emotional, etc. So, a teacher has to be sensitive about such needs of learners. Not only this, they have to learn different approaches to engage a class which is not homogeneous, and therefore supportive nature of a teacher will give a better space for learning. Teacher can support learners in their academic, social and emotional needs. Simultaneously, teachers must have appropriate expectations from learners, which will develop criticality in their thinking process and perspective development. Teachers need to make sure that every learner participates in learning process. The critical support given by teachers will make learner independent and autonomous. Autonomous does not mean that learner becomes centric to oneself. Rather, it means student will become capable of doing social interactions independently to understand and resolve the problems. To achieve the above target, teachers requires to learn and use positive behavior and inclusive classroom management. Doing this also expects continuous support from teachers to remove the barriers available in physical and social environment, so that learners can work freely to develop various competencies. A sense of organizing thoughts and action. It is important that a teacher puts some efforts to organize his or her thoughts and actions. This organizational attitude will help a teacher to provide organized spaces to children for learning. To do this, a teacher himself or herself has to practice organizational behavior in routine life. Gradually, this will be internalized in a teacher. This internalization will be enculturated in learners' abilities with conscious effort of a supportive teacher. The sound awareness of diversity and need of inclusion collectively help teachers to organize thoughts to provide need-based support. The sense of concern about learners will automatically develop sensitivity towards learners and their needs. Language of inclusion. How we talk and communicate our ideas to others is essentially important and crucial. Inclusion is also having a language of communication which is collegial in its epistemological basis. The word we use make a huge difference in our communication. Calling somebody disabled or differently abled or children with special needs make a lot of difference in our thinking and action. For example, calling people disabled work on the premises of deficit model, where underlying assumption is a disabled person cannot do this or that. This idea is problematic and work only on the weaknesses of a person and therefore reduced to the sympathetic behavior. So, it is essential for a teacher to have a positive perspective about learners' abilities, which is based on growth model. How a teacher communicates in a class is very important. I am not talking about the communication happening with children with special needs, rather talking about communication happening with entire class. This communication needs a language of diversity and inclusion. Though enough work has not been done on language of diversity and inclusion, but we can begin from right now. Don't use word should when you engage in a dialogue with anybody today. You will find it very difficult. Why I am saying avoiding should? Because it has a sense of absoluteness and all have to achieve this absoluteness. So, avoiding should will automatically provide acceptance of diversity and its basic nature. Therefore, teachers need to develop a language of diversity and inclusion. Questioning one's own beliefs. Being reflective is very important for everyone, as it develops a critical friend within us. As I am saying since beginning that there is nothing called the specific skills which will make a teacher inclusive in its true sense. Rather, there is a positive attitude which is required. Being reflective is an attitude a person carries in his or her personality. Of course, it can be developed by anyone. Such attitude is to be developed by teachers in their personality. This will help them to question their own beliefs about learners, learning, knowledge, inclusion, diversity, and so on. It is important to remind that reflection is required to be done to revisit our practices so that we can become better reflective practitioners instead questioning and blaming system all the time. Our revisiting of our own practices will gradually help us in many ways. Two of them I would like to highlight here. First, it will help us to deconstruct and reconstruct our own practices to become a better facilitator. And second, my evolving perspective will surely help learners to become active and constructive. Both of these will help us to generate and practice new ways and strategies to create a better inclusive environment in a classroom setting. Therefore, questioning our own beliefs is essential to become inclusive and non-discriminatory pedagogue. Faith in equality. A teacher needs to carry certain attitude and values. One such attitude and value is to have faith in equality. This idea of inclusion is based on the principle of equality where everyone gets maximum opportunities for his or her development. Keeping faith in equality is not sufficient unless equal spaces to all the learner is given. This also includes equal access, respecting learners' context, language and their experiences, etc. The idea of equality must be part of every practice happening in school and classroom. This equal space will automatically abolish the discriminatory thinking and associated practices from educational institutions and at larger level from society. Challenging non-inclusive practices. Teacher must have an attitude of challenging non-inclusive practices. It does not mean that all the teachers start only criticizing the existing system, but yes, if they observe something non-inclusive happening, they must object and question it. This much activism every teacher must have, so that they themselves can practice inclusion instead asking others to do it. This attitude gradually will become our value and inherent part of our personality. Only talking about inclusion will not help. Rather, a teacher needs to model inclusion. The idea of inclusion must be part of teachers' everyday practices, such as teaching, interacting with learners, assessment, interacting with colleagues and other staff members, etc. Such behavior is required in school to stop discriminatory practices. Perspective about continuous professional development. A teacher is required to be engaged in his or her continuous professional development. Professional development should not be a process which happens once a while. Rather, it has to be continuous in its nature, which is part of everyday practice. There are various ways of such continuous professional development. One is mentoring, which is school-based and need minimal external intervention. Such continuous professional development processes will create a special working environment in school, where every teacher is continuously engaged for providing better learning opportunities to learners. This continuity keeps every teacher active, alert, democratic and reflective, which not only grows them professionally, rather creates an inclusive school because every teacher keeps reflecting about his or her own practices. Teachers need to give importance to evidence-based practices so that concrete decisions can be taken. Being active practitioners, teachers also need to work on metacognitive abilities. Teachers can conduct variety of action researches to deal with the challenges they face while implementing inclusion. These small action researches have great strength to develop unique kind of capabilities in teachers to facilitate learners in their learning and development. This continuous professional development and revisiting one's own practices will help teachers to generate their small T theories. Small T theories represent theorizations of teachers' experiences, which is not based on big T theories we generally study in teacher education courses. So, this session has helped us to develop a conceptual base to understand inclusive and non-discriminatory pedagogy via attitudes and values teachers need to have. This comprehensive discussion will also set a pace for second session, where we will explore more about inclusive and non-discriminatory pedagogy to be adopted by teachers in their practices. Finally, thank you all for listening me, and I hope you will start practicing and developing inclusive and non-discriminatory attitudes and values in your personality. Thank you very much.